Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. I have a Transformers Titans Return review for you today. So this is the first that I have found for Titans Return. Everything's been Combiner Wars up until this point, but the Titan Return stuff has just started to appear. And this was the first of two things that I found at a Target today, so I was very excited. When I was a kid, the Headmasters and the Target Masters and the Power Masters were all my favorites. I guess I just liked kind of having a big robot with a little tiny partner. You know, it kind of felt like two toys in one. So they've always been favorites of mine, and I was so excited when I found out that that was going to be kind of the next, subline, the next gimmick. The Combiner Wars were great, but I'm really excited for these. So the first one we have here is Deluxe, Furos, and Hardhead. Now, I believe Hardhead's original partner's name was Duros, so I'm wondering if they couldn't copyright that and they decided to go with Furos, because it looks like they do have that trademarked. If you take a look at the little TM there now. So I don't know if they just thought it sounded better, they couldn't get the other name, I don't know. But he looks great. I never had the original of this guy as a kid, so I was very excited to pick this up. Taking a look on the back, you can see head transforms into a robot. He can ride inside. You have different sizes. So the Deluxes, the Voyagers, and the Leaders all use the same size head. For the Leaders, they kind of have a helmet that goes on top because otherwise that little head on a Leader would look kind of out of place. But they have the different classes here. Basically, the Titan Masters are the smallest. They're yellow. Then Deluxe is blue. Voyagers purple. Leaders green. So very colorful back of the box. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm loving everything here. I will try to zoom in if you'd like to read the bio. Should be able to see that there. It's very short. The Autobots unite with Titan Master partners to power up for battle. Furos gives Hardhead a regenerative healing power that instantly repairs armor and systems damage. So hey, that's handy to have in battle. Then it's just a bunch of other languages. I believe French, Spanish, and maybe Portuguese. Not 100% on that. If someone knows, tell me in the comments. But Portuguese is my guess. I'm not a super worldly person, but I can recognize French and Spanish. So yeah, anyway, my rambling aside, very excited for this. So we're going to go ahead, pop them out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here's everything you get with Hardhead. Now, they stopped doing comic books, so they just come with these little cards now. They're nice, they're pretty thick. Pretty solid little cards, but it says Hardhead, Titans Return. And then on the back, it says Hardhead and Furos. Now, I assume the red is just if Hardhead wasn't partnered with Furos, that's what he would be by himself. And then when he's attached to Furos, it gives him a boost. And then I would assume that's attack, speed, intelligence, and firepower. And it goes up to 20 now, where before it used to just go up to 10. So that's pretty neat. Nice little card, definitely pretty solid. Obviously, it comes with instructions as well, but I'm not going to bother to show you them. They're very standard. Pretty much exactly what you're used to. But this guy looks great right out of the packaging. I'm very happy with it. This is his large shoulder cannon, and then he comes with one. Now, the original used to come with the G1 characters of the Headmasters used to come with two guns. But you don't really need two. I think one is perfectly fine. What you can do with this, if you come around to the back, you can see it can peg in right there. So it's kind of cool if you want. And let me see if I can zoom out a bit here. He can have it just on his back like that. Or, of course, you can lift it up. And it will move to the side so it won't get in the way of the head. So there you go. You can have a shoulder cannon. Looks perfect. And there's tons of motion and range there. You can move it a little bit from side to side. I mean, obviously the head's going to get in the way. But you can get a little bit there. And of course, the gun can fit in either hand. So very simple there. Very, very cool. Go ahead and take that out. So for robot mode, the head, like I said, you can move this out of the way. The head is on a ball joint. You can move that around. There's I think that's a ball joint in the shoulder. Yeah, it is. So you can move this around. Then you have a ratchet here. And then you have a second hinge. So there's one hinge here and one hinge here. Which is mostly for the transformation. But you can get some nice, posability with that. Here you have wrist articulation. Mine's a little tight, but you can move it around. Nothing in the waist, like here in the waist, but then here at the hip, you have up and down, front to back, thighs swivel, 90 degrees at the knee, and then you have a little bit of toe, but that's really just for the transformation. But I mean, really, all things considered, it's what you'd need. You really don't need any more articulation. I think it's great. He definitely looks fantastic. The other thing I wanted to mention is, like the old ones, you could flip this down and see the tech specs here, the 3 bars. You don't have that with these. That's something they did not carry over from the original G1 figures. I mean, it was cool originally, but I don't think it's missed here. I don't really think that's a big deal. It has to do with how the heads connect. So you literally just go ahead and pull this out. Just be a little careful. It just fits in pretty snugly. There's nothing special to do. You literally just go ahead and plug it in and pull it out, which I think is nice. But because of the way they connect, they don't have the different lengths of bars to push those down. So it just makes sense to not have that anymore. But if we put him off to the side for a minute and we just check out the head, it's very tiny. I'm trying to see if I have here's a Lego minifigure just for size comparison. And we'll try to get in because they're very tiny. So smaller than a standard Lego minifigure. I would assume they're smaller than the original G1. Maybe about the size of one of the Headmaster Juniors, I kind of want to say. So like Siren or Nightbeat's original G1 Headmaster. But it definitely has more posability because the arms do move. With the Headmaster Juniors, the arms did not move. So let me move these around. Now these are ball joints. They can move. I guess you can do all the way up. They can go a little bit out to the side, but it's really limited. And that's just because, it bumps into the top there. So, but I feel like you don't really need a ton of arm articulation. And then, of course, it's just the standard, 2 leg bends. The legs are one solid piece. They don't break open or anything. So, because they're so tiny, again, I don't really think it's lacking anything. But the head looks great, and because this is a ball joint for the head here, that allows him to have the motion when he can move side to side when connected up here. So you literally just plug it back on, clips in, and then you can move them side to side. All good. Very nice, very nice. I really do like the paint. The articulation is great. You got some nice Autobot symbols, 1 here, 2 on the shoulders. And I mean, it looks like G1 Hardhead. I think it looks fantastic. You got the big bubble on the back here, which is going to be the cockpit of the Headmaster in vehicle mode. I mean, you don't even have any openness on the back here. Yeah, it's a little hollow on the insides, but you can't really see it. Overall, I think it's a fantastic robot mode. The head's a little loose. It's not terrible. I mean, it's really not that big a deal. But we'll go ahead, we'll get into the transformation. Alright, so the transformation is fairly simple, but I think it's really nice. You're going to go ahead by just popping the head off, so just go ahead and pull that out again. Then you can just kind of move the cannon back out of the way. You can go ahead and fold the hands into the wrists, very simply like that. And then you can kind of collapse these onto themselves. Just like that. Then you're going to come down here and you can fold the feet down into the bottom of the feet. Then you're going to unpeg this, because this has a tab right here that pegs into that hole right there. So you're going to bring that up and just kind of straighten this all out. And then you can push this down and that'll kind of stand in the way, or just get all straight right there. And it's really nice. Let me get this out of the way. You can go ahead and just bring these down for now. You can see there how that fits perfectly onto the joint there. It's really nice. I think that's a nice little attention to detail there. You're going to go ahead and these kind of accordion out a little bit. And you're going to see there's a little peg hole there for this little peg right there. So then they're just going to peg into the sides of the legs like that. Very simply. Then this is going to, where the green meets the gray is going to separate. You can see there. It's going to swing around. Now you can see there's a peg here and a peg here. And that is going to peg into the top hole on the inside of each leg. So you're going to bring this around, and then that's just going to peg in and peg in on both sides. So you get that all done. So you can see that's pretty much done. And then this circle, let me get a little bit closer. That circle right there is going to peg in to this circle hexagon hole right there. So you're just going to do that on both sides very simply. And of course I say very simply and then it doesn't do it very simply. Just has to show me up. So there you go. I'm bringing it down here. Oh, I'm sorry. The very last thing you have to do, this crotch piece will flip down and just fold like that. And that's literally just so that it lays flat on the ground, because otherwise you saw what just happened. When it stays up here, he can't roll well because he's not flat on the ground. So there is the tank mode. Again, looks exactly like the G1 counterpart. I think it looks fantastic. Rolls very well. Very nice there. This can move up and down. You can even bring it around if you want. You have a lot of posability there, which I appreciate. You can take the green gun and peg that right in on the top. So you got some extra firepower there. And then, of course, this opens. And then you can bring your Titan Master in. And I guess you can either put the arms out or you don't have to, however you like it. But you can see he fits perfectly in there. Close him up. Boom, he's riding around. It's just absolutely fantastic. I love it. So there is a little bit more functionality with the gray gun. Go ahead and pop this gun off. And then this part up here, as you can see, lifts back. And then it just kind of hangs back here like that. And you can go ahead, and I'll put the arms out this time. And you can sit him right in here and then put the gun back. And it's kind of like, you know, he's at a little weapon encampment there. So if you have a second Titan Master, you could have one ride in here and one ride in here. Or I think what this is also meant for, you can take this off. And then if you have like Blaster or Power Master Prime or Fort Max, if you have one of the base formers, you can go ahead and peg this in. And it's, you know, from what I understand, each of the separate releases has a weapon and a little spot for a Titan Master to ride on that you can, you know, pull them all together and attach them around to the big bases. Like especially Fort Max, you can really trick him out with all of these extra little weapons and spots for the Titan Masters to ride in. And I just think that's really cool. That's a really nice way to make the whole line meta. It's a very simple little thing to do. And you can just close this right back up. It's a very simple little thing to do to really make the interconnectivity with the whole line is always a lot of fun. Because then it gives you a nice incentive to want to collect everything. And then, you know, you can put it all together, and the more you buy, the more you can play. And I always think that's a really neat thing for collectors, for kids, for anyone who loves to, you know, collect a bunch of stuff and put it all together. I always think that's a really neat thing for a line. So it's a very small thing they did, but it really can add a lot as far as playability goes. And I really think that's awesome. I love it. So I really could not be more excited for these. When I heard they were coming out, I was super hyped, and I feel like at least this is the first one I've had, so I can't speak for the whole line, but so far it's living up to my expectations. I never had this character as a kid, the original G1 release, so it was really awesome to find him in a store. It kind of feels like I'm getting another piece of my childhood back. And the Headmasters and all the, you know, Titan Masters, Target Masters, you know, Power Masters, for whatever reason, they were always a personal favorite of mine, so maybe I'm a little biased. But I think this guy's great. I really don't have any complaints. The only thing I could minor nitpick, you know, some of the joints are slightly loose, like the head. But it's really not that big a deal because even when it falls forward the most, it's not terrible. It's not like it's going to fall off or anything. Most of the time, I mean, if you shake it, yeah, you can headbang. But most of the time, it's going to stay back there. And none of the other joints are really bad. I don't really have any other problems, but I love this guy. I really can't say anything more about it. I'm so happy with these. I know I'm just kind of fan gushing, and I apologize, but I really don't have any complaints. I mean, playing with it, transforming it back and forth a couple times, the transformation is fairly simplistic. It's satisfying, but it's not overly difficult. It's right in the sweet spot. The accessories it comes with are great. The Titan Master is fun to play with. You know, the added functionality with the cannon, having the secondary Titan Master spot, I think is really cool. I got nothing bad to say about it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this review of Titans Returns Deluxe Hardhead as much as I love doing it for you, if that's possible. But in any case, thank you guys so much for watching.